prospects? Anybody looking to make a comeback?
Poor. Poor talent level.
The next run is for you.
Coaching interns and assistant coaches, none of them are going to be in the Suns uniform anytime soon, I promise you.
Wow, Coach, you're shattering dreams with that.
Yes, they're horrible.
If they get their hopes up in an emergency situation, no chance.
Good practice players. Great practice players. Stars in their roles. Stars in their roles.
You don't ever run with them, Coach?
I don't. I would love to. I get hurt too often. Nothing major. I pull muscles and stuff like that. Old guy stuff. So I stay away from it. I like to be able to walk the sidelines, not in crutches.
Speaking of practice, what were you guys able to get done today, you think?
A lot. No contact practice, but just fine-tuned a lot of things that we're trying to get better at. Add to our defensive package and the arsenal things we could throw at opposing teams. Fourth quarter scripts, and fourth quarter offense. Not just late game, but we did late game as well. And just trying to make sure that we turn a weakness into a strength, which I believe we will.
Curious with Brad, what was he able to do today?
He did most of it except for the end of game stuff at the end of practice.
So what's his status for tomorrow?
Yeah, he and Eric are both questionable. Both participated today in the no contact stuff, and we'll see how they respond tomorrow.
Those are the only two. Kevin is, he talked about being mental with his shot in the last 3 games, but he's like, everybody knows I can shoot, so that's not the issue. The issue is he felt mental in taking bad threes. I know you want the team to take more threes. What's a bad three?
One that gets blocked. For Kevin Durant, one that gets blocked. That's a bad three. Other than that, there's no such thing.
Okay, so you're still wanting to encourage him to keep shooting?
Yeah.
Coach, with Merrick, his ankle is okay.
He's still sore. He's still sore, but he's not going to be listed, I don't think. If he is, he's probable. But he's good to go. We don't want terrible threes, within reason. We want good shots. Okay, but he's got a green light.
Coach, when you look at the actions where you have Dirk and KD screen for one another, I know it's not something you've run a ton of, but what can that do as a defensive-minded coach to put a defense in kind of disarray and try to?
Yeah, it's good action. The biggest thing is can we score on the exchange, right? Because they usually have their 2 best defenders on those 2 guys. And it's a switching game. So, they're not going to see a blitz and recover or a base coverage typically. So they got to try to score on the exchange. They slip out, hip tap roll into the basket. While that's happening, the vacuum that's created by the movement, can we attack that space, those types of things.
How did you like the spacing? I know you ran it a couple of times last game, and Nurk was sort of in the dunker spot. He had good spacing with Grayson and Royce. How did that work in your mind?
Yeah, you say Grayson and Royce?
I think it was Grayson and Royce, but I know you had shooters kind of on the wings.
Yeah, it's usually one of those guys and KD, we want to be able to involve, the defenders that we want to involve in. We want to go at the weak spots of opposing defenses as much as we can. And sometimes that's a 5-man, sometimes that's a small guard. So all of our guys offensively have to be but have to be proficient in playing in the pocket.
Coach, injuries aside, Katie said he feels that this team is progressing at the right time. Where are you at with how you feel about this group?
Great. I feel great with where we're at except for health. I just want to get everybody back. But, the goal is to be healthy in April. That's the number one goal. So however long that takes to get there and make sure these things are behind us, we're willing to wait. But I like how we're growing in all areas, honestly.
Coach, Sunday marked the 40th time in which AD and LeBron went toe-to-toe against one another, but you won a championship with LeBron, you coached Paul George, and now obviously you're here. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the journey of getting to coach these superstar players and all-time greats.
For me, it's just it's pretty surreal. I never, when I got into coaching, envisioned coaching the names that I've been able to and fortunate to coach. So I just try to stay humble with it and do the best I can, put them in positions to win, and making sure that the environment around them is one that that allows them to be at their best and to win games.
With the way LeBron is still moving at his age, if the passion is still fully there for him, how much longer do you think he can play for?
prefer not to comment on players on other teams.
Nurk said after
10 or 12 more years, the way it's moving.
There you go. Nurk
Parody,
said
for the Parody account. Parody account.
Parody counts good. Nurk said after the Lakers game that a lot of the guys are still pissed about the Houston loss. Do you sense that the guys still want to get that one back against Houston?
No doubt. Definitely a game where we felt like the way we jumped out on them early in particular, we felt like we let get away, and guys be motivated to get it back, but also continue to take care of home court.
Coach, have you had any experience coaching players such as Bull that have had fathers that have played in the NBA, like Manute?
Coach Glenn Robinson III, he's the first one that comes to mind.
That was in Indiana, right?
I was in Indiana. Yeah, and I actually coached his dad too, as an assistant coach in Philly for 1 year, so that was neat. But I think that's the only one. I mean, you could probably check my track record, and maybe there's others, but I think those are the only ones.
Do you have any memories of coming up as a kid, watching Manute play?
Manute?
Yeah.
Manute was my first autograph I ever got in my life. He played against the Wildwood Aces in the USBL, I think the USBL. I forget, he was on Rhode Island. I was a little kid, and he played a game, and my dad went to a restaurant afterwards, and Bo was there. So I asked for his autograph. I didn't even know what autograph was. My dad said, go get his autograph. Came over and B-O-L. That's all he wrote. Great, thanks, very cool. So yeah, I told Bobo that story too.
Yeah. Earlier this season, you mentioned how OKC is actually one of the top teams. It was 3 weeks into the season, and they've since proven that. So Sunday was the second in the back-to-back. How important is to get a statement win against them, with this tough schedule that you have ahead?
Yeah, I mean, we need every game right now, and we got some heavyweights coming up on our schedule. But OKC is as good as anybody in the league, honestly. I know Shea's getting a lot of MVP love, and he should be in that conversation for sure. He may win it. And when coaches, doctoring up their defense, and their offense is so hard to guard with how they're using Chet. Chet's been phenomenal for them this year. Jalen Williams has really come on. Giddey, this team is deep. They got no holes. They can do it all. They're good on both sides of the ball, and it'll be a good challenge for us to see where we're at. But we need every game. The way the Western Conference standings are lining up. I was a Sixers fan. He's like 7 foot 100, and he's shooting half court shots. 10, 12 in a row. He's one of the most unique basketball players I ever saw at the time. Very cool. Very cool for me, yes.
Full circle moment for you, but when you did tell Bull about the autograph, how did he respond to it?
He said that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah.
You still have it? You still have the autograph?
No. I was 5. I was little. I was really little.
Coach, looking back on that Houston game last week, what are the biggest things you want to correct going into Thursday and Saturday?
Going into the Houston game, I just think we just had some bad runs, in the middle part of that game. Some coverages we can definitely tie up. I don't think we passed the ball as well as we have over the last month or so in that game, and obviously we had a terrible shooting game. So those things are connected, right? The better you pass the ball, the better you're going to shoot the ball. So hopefully we're better sharing it offensively.
I feel like, okay, I'm able to get back out on the floor.
Just no pain, really, no pain, and that's really the only indicator, and hamstrings are tricky, they can, you can re-injure them, so you gotta be cautious when you're on your way back.
The reason I ask is because, movements, is that in your head, okay, I'm not feeling it, so I'm good? Is that part of the thought process as well?
Yeah, with hamstrings, just pretty much any basketball movement, you're gonna feel it, so it's a pretty easy indicator to show if you're healthy or not. Just a simple basic moves, and you don't feel the hammy, then you're pretty good. So, but it's a process, man. You can't rush it.
Curious with your shot, obviously you're shooting much better than you have just coming out of the break. How much is when you get the extra work in to get it right in terms of getting back your shot?
It's just a mental thing, more than anything. when you take bad threes, I think that's what got me the last few games, taking bad threes. Because if you take away the three-point percentage, I'm like shooting high percentage inside the line, you know. So a lot of times when I'm not shooting well, is that I'm rushing threes or trying to shoot heat checks and trying to. I think I was 10 for 19 in the Houston game, I remember. Then I shot two bad, like deep threes, just like as soon as I caught it. Instead of, I was putting pressure on the rim. I should have put more pressure on the rim, and then maybe that third three would have went down, you know. So it's just a mental thing, a shot selection thing. I can work on my shot all day, but if I take horrible shots over three people, they're not gonna go in. You know what I'm saying? So it's about how I approach the game more so than like, at this point in my career, just getting extra work in because I know how to shoot the ball already.
Katie, when did you develop that kind of practice habit? Was it always something that you had to it over time?
Since I was 8, 9 years old, I've been grooming my routine as a player, so I've always valued practice time. And my godfather who taught me how to play the game just instilled that into me, my mom and my dad too. So it's always about practice. It's cliche, but practice makes perfect, and I always try to take that mentality on. So.
You still kind of hear his voice sometimes?
All the time, and then I go to my phone after practice and I see his text. So it's just grateful to have people that are instilled in good habits, and it's on me to keep building on that foundation.
Katie, Sunday marked the 40th time in which you played against LeBron James, and LeBron recently said that he doesn't have too many years remaining in the NBA. How meaningful are those matchups since you both are considered all-time great players?
Yeah, it's always incredible playing against some of the best ever. Like you said, we don't have much time left, and so we try to value every one of those moments. It just makes you better. It makes everybody better. Just makes the viewing experience better, the on-court game better. So you got great players on the court. It just ups the level of everyone.
If the passion for the game is still there for LeBron, how long do you think he could go? Do you think he could play until he's like 45? When does it stop?
Yeah, I think physically he can still go until he's probably 43, 44, but he got so much going on off the floor that I'm sure he's interested in. He's mastered what it means to be an NBA player, a superstar, megastar in this league. So maybe he wants a new challenge in his life after doing this for 25 years, So he's going to bring value to any place that he's in with his experience and knowledge. And being in the NBA for that long has helped you prepare for your second phase of life. So once he steps off the floor, that's not the last we're going to see of LeBron.
Katie, you kind of touched on that in your podcast, where you're at mentally in this game. Could you see yourself 45, 44?
I just want to make it through 35 right now. But yeah, I love to play. I love the routine. I love being an NBA player. I love representing the NBA. So, however long that is for me. But 10 years, another 10 years would be crazy.
3 games within the next 4 days, 2 against the Houston Rockets. What's the game plan against them? What has the coaching staff been hammering home to you guys?
Physicality. I think last time we let them in their home building, we let them run freely, and they made more threes than us. I think they just beat us at the numbers game last game, made more shots than us from the three-point line. So, and that's just, you look at that as an indicator of us just playing too loose on the ball, playing too loose off the ball, not being physical enough. So they're a physical team. Their coach preaches that every single day, so we got to match that and be even better in that area.
Could you look at this as like a warm-up for the playoffs in a way, like having games like this?
Yeah.
Can you really draw some comparisons like that playing teams?
Most definitely. Since they implemented these back-to-back home games with the same team, I think around the pandemic year, coaches that I played for always approached that as a mini playoff series where you can make adjustments on the team. You can get ready for that preparation what it takes playing the same team back-to-back games. So I think it's a good practice for each team to just get ready for that setting.
Kevin, how fun has it been for you to mentor Vogel, and what kind of things do you maybe share with him, just giving you guys a somewhat similar skill set?
I don't mentor anybody. I think we just work together, and there's some stuff that I see that situations that I'm in that Bo's going to be in, and we talk through them together. And I think it's times where young dudes are mentoring me out there, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just all about that exchanging of information between everybody. We all know the game. We all see it from different vantage points. So as much as we can communicate, it's just for the better for our team. So I wouldn't say I mentor anybody. I think we just work together and exchange what we see.
Working
To watch
together.
Dad play when he was with the Bullets.
Say it again?
Team.
Did I watch him?
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was back in the late.
I mean, obviously you know his name, and you hear about Manute and what he did for the game, and you know we had similar body types too. So you, as a kid, you hear about him shooting threes and blocking shots. So, of course, you know that name is DC especially is a name that's stamped in our city. So it's good I get a chance to play with Bowl and see the kind of evolution of that.
You
In
said
getting
about
to work together, how receptive have you seen him just wanting to learn, get better every day?
He's a quiet guy who's very reserved, but he's open-minded to anything. But he has a lot of questions. He's curious about the game, so that's all you want for a teammate is somebody that's enthusiastic about learning and just curious about what we're doing out there. And like I said, we all just exchange information and bounce ideas off of each other. So it's a great environment when you got guys that want to be good.
one of the things you said about
Yeah, it is. It is. You can look around the league now and starting to see more and more guys. I'm looking up the Chets and the Bowles and the Wemby's. So yeah, man, it's. But then you watch him and see how he plays and his dynamic. He can get up and down the floor like a guard. It's just incredible where the game is going.
You said before about Bo not trying to do too much. That's key for him. How could you just explain that a little bit deeper on staying within himself and how that helps him?
Yeah, just taking the shots that he's comfortable with taking. You know, you see a lot of him dribbling the ball up the court the last couple years. I think is toned back on that just a little bit and getting into his spots a little quicker, taking shots a little quicker. I mean, we talk. People want to try to attack the ball when we're dribbling. People want to try to get into it, our body frame. So I think Bowl is just putting himself in good positions to score the ball and just being the right positions on the defensive end as well. You haven't been seeing those cheap, easy fouls as of lately because he's using his length a little bit more, understanding what it is to use his length. And once you understand his length, and that could be dangerous for people on the defensive side of the ball because he already has good instincts to block shots. But understanding your length is another phase you get to as a player, and I think he's on the way to that.
Kevin, you guys have been playing really well as a player at home. After you kind of struggled at the beginning of the year, what do you think has changed in that?
Just get more and more reps with each other on the floor. I mean, our home crowd also being patient with us throughout the season and understanding that we're figuring some stuff out. So when we go on a tough little stretch, they're there giving us a little extra juice, so that matters. We're all just trying to figure it out, man, to be honest, and I think that's just a natural evolution of a team who's getting healthy, who's getting more reps. Is you're going to be better at home, you're going to be more comfortable at home. Guys been in Phoenix for longer now, you know, so as the year goes on, you become more and more comfortable at home, and we got to take advantage of those moments we get a chance to play in front of our home crowd.
How valuable is this week going forward, even into the playoffs, where getting to small stuff?
Yeah, practice time is scarce in this league, and you try to use that as much as you can to build your foundation as a team. And guys get an opportunity to work on their individual skills as well. You know, we don't have a lot of practice time on the road, or it's hard to get to a gym sometimes when we're moving around like this, playing games like this. So a couple days is always good to reset and get your mind and body right.
You know, you actually had Sunday is your second back-to-back against your old team, OKC. So you see basically since you've left and have been rebuilding, obviously they had rust there, but you see that this team is pretty much coming to fruition with all the draft picks that they've had over the years since you left.
Yeah, I mean, you just see that every franchise wants to build around great players that can win you basketball games every single night. And they have that with Shea and Jalen and Chet. And it's a foundation you could build upon. And then they got everybody around them that's going to complement and make their lives easier as well. So, Sam Presti's seen that formula already. So it's kind of, you know, when you go through trial and error and then you get another three guys who are talented and can do some great things in this league, you know the mistakes that you made before, and you know the strengths that you had before. You just enhance those things and get better from those things and move forward. But it always going to rest on the players and how good they get individually. And I think you got three guys that truly care about being great ball players, and that makes everybody else's job easier.
My last question is, you talked about the Frank Vogel parody account yesterday.
That's the funniest account on Twitter. X, sorry.
Yeah, do you have any past interactions with parody accounts? Or what's your approach to people when you are active as you are.
Yeah, I
on
know.
X.
Yeah, nowadays you can see which ones are real and fake, but it's all funny. I think I seen Frank. He had a good reaction to it yesterday. I'm sure. I wondered if he actually seen the page before. So
Yeah, I showed it to him. Personally.
yes, so for him to see to say he's seen it, and it's all fun and games. It's cool. His content not as bad as some other parody accounts, and it's in a weird way it's bringing more Suns fans together, honestly. But it's pretty cool. How it's not too bad.
Kevin, this NFL Combine Week, you scouting any guys for the
Oh
Commanders?
yeah, hell yeah, man. We got the number 2 pick, man. So I'm expecting big things out the Commanders next year. I'm sure the Cardinals are expecting some big things from their picks as well, man. So I might have to put some bets in and see who have a better season next year.
After the trade deadline, after the All-Star break, how much more potential does this team have going the rest of the way?
We got a lot of potential. We got to get healthy for one, keep building continuity, but I like the progression we had. I think a few games before All-Star break, we were playing great ball. That long road trip was good for us. So I think we're trending in the right direction, and that's all it's about around this time, staying healthy and just trying to peak at the right time.